The wind howls through the gaps in the cabin walls, carrying the scent of wood smoke and failure. Ezekiel Walker sits at a scarred pine table, his hands cracked and stained with the red clay of the Sierra Nevada. He has no gold. His pockets are as empty as the day he left 3 years ago. His neighbors whisper as they pass his window, "Another fool broken by the mountain." But Ezekiel isn't looking at his empty pockets. He's looking at a piece of tattered parchment spread out before him. It's a map. Every dead end he hit, every dry creek bed he panned, every mountain pass that led to nowhere, it's all marked in meticulous detail. Ezekiel Walker didn't bring home a fortune. He brought home the truth. And in a gold rush, the truth is the only thing more valuable than the gold itself. In 1852, the California Trail was littered with the bones of men who chased a dream and caught a nightmare. We hear the stories of the lucky few, the men who tripped over nuggets the size of goose eggs. But for every one of them, there were 10,000 Ezekiels, men who gave years of their lives to the dirt and came back with nothing but stories. They were the unlucky generation, or so the newspapers called them. But history has a funny way of rewarding the man who pays attention while everyone else is just digging. 3 years after Ezekiel Walker returned to his hometown, a group of investors bought that tattered parchment for more money than Ezekiel would have made in a lifetime of mining. They didn't want his gold. They wanted his failures. They wanted to know exactly where not to dig. They wanted to know which trails were death traps and which streams were illusions. Ezekiel's map saved them 5 years of wasted labor. It made them millionaires, and it turned a failed miner into the most successful merchant in the territory. He realized that the gold wasn't the product. The path to the gold was the product. Today, we are standing in the middle of a new Sierra Nevada. It's made of silicon and code instead of rock and river water. And just like in 1852, everyone is obsessed with the strike. Everyone wants the viral app, the million-dollar SaaS, the automated empire that runs while they sleep. They see the headlines of 20-year-olds making a fortune with a single prompt, and they feel like they're falling behind. They feel the pressure of the AI FOMO crushing their chests every time they open a laptop. So they dig. They spend 6 months trying to build an AI chatbot for real estate agents. It fails. They try to launch an AI-powered newsletter. It flops. They spend $1,000 on API credits trying to automate a workflow that ends up breaking every 3 days. They look at their bank accounts, they look at their wasted time, and they say the same thing Ezekiel's neighbors said: "I'm a failure. I miss the rush. The smart money is already gone." But they're wrong. Dead wrong. They are looking at the empty pan, but they aren't looking at the map they just drew. In the AI gold rush, your failed attempts are not waste. They are data. They are the map. Think about it. If you spent 3 months trying to build an AI automation for a law firm and it didn't work, you now know more about the specific friction points of legal tech than 99% of the population. You know which LLMs hallucinate on case law. You know which integrations break when the file size is too large. You know exactly what a lawyer is willing to pay for and what they find useless. You have mapped the dry creek of legal AI. That knowledge is your map. And there is a massive silent market of miners coming behind you. They have the capital, they have the ambition, but they don't have the time to fail for 3 months. They would gladly pay you $500 for a field report on why your legal AI project failed, just so they don't have to lose $10,000 making the same mistakes. They aren't buying your success. They are buying your scars. The story of how you didn't get rich is often the very product that finally makes you rich. We've been conditioned to hide our work in progress. We've been told to only show the polished result, the Instagram-ready success story. But in a frontier economy, the work in progress is the most valuable asset you own. Every time you hit a wall with an AI tool, you are discovering a boundary. Every time a prompt fails, you are learning the limits of the machine. If you document that journey, if you turn your dry holes into a guide for others, you stop being a miner and you start being the man who owns the map shop. The miners are the ones who take the risk. The map sellers are the ones who take the profit. This is the merchant mindset. It's the realization that in a boom, the most stable income comes from the people who provide the infrastructure, the education, and the warnings. Let's look at the math of the map. If you build a tool and it fails, you lose your time and your money. But if you document that failure and turn it into a lessons learned PDF or a what not to do video series, you have created a digital asset that costs $0 to replicate. You can sell that map 1,000 times. You can sell it while you're sleeping. You can sell it while you're out exploring the next mountain range. You have decoupled your income from your labor. You have moved from the mining class to the merchant class. In this video series, I'm going to show you how to stop mourning your failed projects and start mining them for the frameworks, the warnings, and the lessons that the next wave of entrepreneurs is desperate to buy. We're going to look at how a broken automation can become a high-ticket consulting offer, how a failed chatbot can become a best-selling template, and how your wasted year in AI can become the foundation of a multi-generational wealth strategy. We are going to talk about negative knowledge. In the 1800s, knowing which berries were poisonous was more important than knowing which ones were sweet. In AI, knowing which tools are snake oil is more important than knowing which ones are magic. If you can save a business owner from spending $50,000 on a useless AI implementation, they will happily pay you $5,000 for that advice. You didn't build the tool. You just told them why they shouldn't. You sold the warning. Ezekiel Walker died without a nugget of gold in his hand, but his name is on the gates of the valley that built California. He understood something the miners didn't. He understood that in a rush, information is the only currency that never loses its value. Gold can be stolen, claims can be jumped, but the map stays in your head, and the reputation of the man who knows the way is worth more than any mountain of ore. The mountain doesn't care if you find gold. The mountain is indifferent to your struggle, but the men coming after you care very much about where you looked. They are terrified of the dark. They are terrified of the unknown, and they will pay handsomely for a light. It's time to stop digging and start drawing. It's time to stop being the victim of your failures and start being the architect of your legacy. It's time to sell the map. If you want the full playbook, all 27 ways to build the infrastructure of the AI economy instead of chasing the gold, grab the link below. The book is called 27 Gold Rush Wealth Strategies. It's the field guide for the merchant class of the AI era. The miners are already in the hills, and they are getting thirsty. The question is, are you going to be the one digging in the mud, or are you going to be the one sitting in the warm saloon, selling them the map to the valley?